Greetings everyone, Joseph James here from theschooloftrade.com, January 26, 2010. Here's your live trade room recap. If you're watching this video on the YouTube page, guys, you'll see three important links here. Now, of course, the first link, we record our trade room every single day, and every week we post the highlights on our blog. Right below that, you'll see our 12-month track record, and then our 3-week free trial. So, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube page, guys, don't forget in the description those three important links. 7 total trades today, guys. Got off to kind of a rough start here, but as you can see, guys, 79 ticks, 790 in the pocket today. We've made over $1,600 this week so far on only 2 days, $6,300 USD month of January so far. And guys, we're averaging well over $700 a day on only 4 contracts, guys. Come join us as a lifetime member or as a free trial guest. What's the most important that happened today? Well, guys, I want to remind you that universal patterns, universal entry and exit rules, right? Guys, if we can trade any market we want, why trade a slow market? Right, we have lots of members, lots of guests that are trying to learn new markets right now, and I want to remind you guys, it's very easy, right? If you're still trading the same market from 2009, the markets went through a dramatic change of the fundamentals of supply and demand, guys, in the credit crunch of late 2008. Still trying to trade those same slow, sluggish markets, guys. Remember, we look for wide ranges, decent volume, and lots of patterns. Guys, if your personality is wanting more, guys, come out and join us tomorrow morning, and we'll show you guys what moving markets really look like. But because we have universal patterns, universal rules, the same patterns on the S&P are the exact same on the Russell, the Euro, the crude, the pound, the yen. It's all the same. So come out and join us. Let's look at some of the trades we took today, guys. 7 total trades. We got first start here, guys, back to back here on the crude. As you can see here, guys, we have the first trade of the day. First trade here was a breaker pattern short, followed by a 2-step pattern long. The breaker to the 2-step. The breaker to the 2-step. This happens all the time. We began by watching for the breaker pattern to the short side. Short-term trend is down. How do I know the trend is down? I look at my trigger line, right? This yellow line here, this trigger line here, nice and steep slope to the downside. Now we have these red lines here that are automatically located for me on my charts. This one was at 89. We broke below that red line and marked up a blue line. This is a swing indicator here. This swing indicator tells me where my swing lows are. So of course, once I break below that swing low, right, that's my entry for my breaker pattern short. Now this is at the low of day here, right? This dotted blue line here, guys, this was the low of day. So if we try to trade short into the low of day, I'm looking for a couple key things. Green paste of the tape, lots of excessive large sellers. Now we saw all the rules line up here, guys, but what happens is when we get into a trade, if we don't see this trade work out quickly, then something is possibly wrong. So we have the 5-second rule, right? If I don't see the target fill, my first target fill to the short side within 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right, the 5-second rule, I'll then move my stop to my point of entry -1. We just barely missed our first target filled here. We were about a tick away from getting the first target filled, and all of a sudden we saw a bunch of buyers step in, momentum curl to the upside, so we knew right away this low of day was holding, so we wanted more stop down to entry -1. We did so and got a scratch fill here. Now, every once in a while, we'll get the actual +1, but in this case, we didn't. We got the entry +0, so nothing in, nothing out. But remember, with a breaker pattern short at the low of day, we're always open for the 2-step long, counter trend. So now we're going to watch as the trade begins to reverse here. We mark up another swing high here, right? Again, I'm going to mark the swing low for a breaker. I'm going to mark my swing high for a 2-step. We break above that swing high, and of course we made the money there at 913 here, a 2-step, right, a trend reversal, bouncing off those lows. 93 was the fill. We got our +4, +2. So stop was moved to entry +1. Once we hit our +4, got kind of a nice, lucky bounce here. Got a bad bounce on the first trade. Got a lucky bounce on the second trade. Let's keep moving. So we got 12 ticks in our pocket here, guys, as we waited for the 9:30 open to come. Now, of course, after the 9:30 open, just a couple moments later, 9:35 alarm goes off. We're back in the market. Again, short-term trend is up, right? Nice steep slope to my trigger line here. We break above this 74.22, 74.23 level. This is an important overhead level of resistance. We mark up our swing high here. And, of course, another 5-second rule. We still hadn't seen the market really start to move the way we wanted it to. And, of course, once again, we got long here for a breaker. Very easy pattern, right? Once we break above that swing high, there's your breaker pattern long. Got filled at 31s. Now again, 5-second rules in play. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If I don't see price moving towards my first target, I've got to react, guys. I may have made the wrong decision, or the market really may not be in a position to give me anything here. So either way, if I don't see that first target tested within 5 seconds, guys, stop moves up to entry +1, 2 off at -1, to 2 off at -0. That gives you -2 ticks or -20 bucks. So we gave back 20 of the 120 we'd already made. And of course, next up, we start making some money here, guys, on the gold. About 10 minutes later, you guys, at 9:49, we have the short-term trend here is up. I can tell the short-term trend is up by looking at my trigger line. Nice steep slope to my trigger line. Now look overhead here, guys. We have the high of day here. Whenever we see the high of day, what are we thinking? Reversal, right? Reversal. So sure enough, we see the bounce off the high. We marked up our swing low here at 5.4. Counter trend trade below that 5.4 level. We got filled at 95.2. We took targets at +4. Stop is moved down to entry -1. We then take our second target at +8. We then move our stop right to our pink line on our trade management chart. Now this is a great example, guys, because in this example we didn't have green pace of a tape. We had red pace of a tape. So I had to be very proactive, right? We had to really watch closely. Red pace of a tape, MACD above the 0 line, and momentum curled up. That told me to get out of this trade here, guys, just about 94 even. We, of course, locked up 7 more ticks there, guys, 7 more ticks, totaling 23 ticks total. So 230 USD on this winner here, a counter trend 2-step pattern short off the high of day. Let's keep moving. It's now next up, guys, here on gold, back-to-back winners here on gold. So we're starting to make some more money here, guys. Nice big winner there at 9:49. And then about half an hour later here, guys, we had some pretty good trading opportunities here as well, where the short-term trend is down. Right, short-term trend down. I can tell by looking at this steep slope to my trigger line. We break below this 95 half level. That's a red line automatically marked to my charts. We have our swing low here. The swing low, of course, once we break that swing low, that's your entry for your breaker pattern short. 94.6 was the fill. Now, of course, we took our first +4 target. Move our stop down to entry -1 to lock out all that risk and guarantee this small winner does not turn into a small loser. So, of course, we made $100 or 10 ticks there on the first trade. As you can see, we then, of course, reverse right back to the upside. Short-term trend starts back to the upside here. Now, this may look like a 2-step pattern, but it's not. It's a breaker pattern because you can tell the trigger line has a nice steep slope to it. Right? If it was a 2-step, there wouldn't be a slope to the trigger line. But because the trigger line has a nice steep slope to the upside here, we break above at 96.2. Right? Another level of resistance here, right? Red lines automatically located for me. We mark up our swing high. We break above that swing high, and there's your entry there, 96.9. We took, in this case, another big winner, +4. +8, and then trailed our stop to lock in 10 more ticks, guys. Always very easy to manage our trades because most of it is done completely mechanically, or 26 ticks or 260 USD. So, guys, 360 USD in this little 45-minute batch here, guys. And as you can see, guys, at 10:45, we had made a pretty substantial income, and at this point, we were pretty much coasting into the rest of our morning here. Last trade here on gold, 11:20, finish up our morning, guys. Short-term trend here was down. I can tell the short-term trend is down by looking at the slope of my trigger line. Nice and steep slope, trending down. We, of course, have this level of support, right? These red lines are always important levels. We make a bounce off those levels. We would have been looking for a breaker short here, right? This low here would have been the entry for your breaker pattern short. We never got a chance to look for it, though, because before we could look for the breaker short, we saw a break above our swing high. We get long. 97.6 was the fill, guys. We got a +4, +1, or $100, right? 10 ticks before it came and crashed back down and filled our stop. So we have our first tick, right? Our first target at 4 ticks, stop to entry +1. We got our first target filled, and then it came right back down and stopped us out at +1. So 8 for the first target, and then +2 for the stop at entry +1, 10 ticks, and 100 USD. As you guys can see, guys, total them all up, guys, 79 ticks, 790 in the market again today, guys, and we really didn't have to work that hard. We had to be patient, but we didn't really have to do too much heavy lifting, guys. Let's prep for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Tomorrow is Fed Day, so be careful out there, guys. 8:20 golden currencies, 9 o'clock crude oil opens up, 9:30 the U.S. market opens up. Important information, 10 o'clock and 10:30 we have news events tomorrow, but the big news number tomorrow is at 2:15, so keep in mind, tomorrow, guys, we will prep for tomorrow's FOMC meeting at 7:45. So be here tomorrow, guys, 8 o'clock, 7:45-ish, and we'll prep for tomorrow's FOMC rate decision. There's a lot of things you guys want to be aware of as far as how to play tomorrow for the FOMC day. Let's recap. We open up tomorrow, 7:45 Eastern Time, ladies and gents. We'll do free webinars. Tuesdays and Thursdays, webinars at 11:30. The beginner's course has all of your setups and all of your entry rules, so don't forget to pick up a copy of the beginner's course. And guys, we have another price increase coming February 1st. Once again, my name is Joseph James. Don't forget to contact our sales team. Ask them if we have any leftover discount coupons for the month of January. There might be a couple laying around. Hope the video helps. Another wonderful day, guys. Can we keep it going tomorrow? You'll have to come out and see. We'll see you now. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.